Jay Mike.
Joltter.
And this is Unisport
Uncut.
Episode
54.
54. Listen guys, today we're going to talk about a question we get quite a lot actually. Why the brands make low-end boots that we have in front of us on the table. We got 10 minutes on the clock. We're going to try and actually keep it today. And there we go. No sound.
As always. I'm used to it already. Let's get right into it.
I got a new app. So basically the big question here is why are brands making more, should we say, price points of football boots? Because you get your high-end boots, but you also get the cheaper models. You get your Mercurial Vapors, but you also get the Victories and the Velocis. So why are the brands doing that? That's basically what we're discussing today.
Basically you already said it. Because of the price points.
Yes.
And the money. Because, not everybody wants to invest, let's say, 250 euros to a pair of football boots.
No.
Especially if you're growing up, you might have to get 2-3 pairs of football boots a season.
Sure.
So it might be a better investment to just get 3 pairs of boots for the price of, let's say, 1.
Absolutely.
That's like the thing in a nutshell.
Yes, and the thing is that, the lower end boots, it's kind of implied in the name, but they are, of lesser quality that the high end boots are. The materials are not as good. I've just brought the...
Yeah, I wouldn't maybe say that they are worse quality, but, the materials are maybe not as advanced.
Yes, okay. You would often also see that the quality, I would say, is not as high in terms of what you get, how good the materials are. I mean, I would still.
But
say
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. They're not.
It's still durable. It's still
absolutely
a proper football boot.
Absolutely, but I would say still from a fit perspective, a performance perspective, it's still a worse performing boot than the high end models would be because the materials simply are better. There's been put more time into the higher end boots. With that being said, it doesn't mean that the low end boots are bad football boots at all. They're actually often very good these days. They're getting better and better. And actually the brands are also starting to really realize that, hey, there's actually a pretty big market for this because there are a lot of people who either don't want to or can't afford to get the high-end models. So bringing up the Predator 18.3s here, it's made to look like the Predator. And it kind of, you gotta give it to him, it kind of does. But tech-wise, it's nowhere close to being the Predator 18 Plus or the 18.1. But it's something else, and it's still, for the money, I would say, a decent football boot. You get some of the same ingredients. So that's pretty interesting. Okay,
but when did then the brand start with this kind of thing? Because obviously, as you said, there's a big market for it.
Yes.
So why the brands make, cheaper or different price points is because they can make more money.
Exactly. Exactly. And you asked when it started? I don't know for sure, but I remember that even back when they launched the Predator in 1994, if I'm not mistaken, already back then, they had takedown models of that.
Really?
Yeah. It might have been before, so don't kill me if I'm absolutely wrong, but I remember back there, I still saw some catalogs that had like cheaper versions of it. Obviously, I don't think they had 4 price points back then. They maybe had 2 or 3 price points. But before that, obviously, the brands had been making primarily their high-end boots because that's what they kind of made. Yeah. And it was kind of like the only offering they had. And then they started to realize, hey, these boots are very expensive. Let's make something that's accessible to everyone.
But it's funny because, for my entire football life, I remember having takedown models. Like we call them takedown models. It's a very rough name, It's like it makes you feel bad almost,
Yeah. And that's another question. Are they bad boots? Are they bad boots? No. They're just not. It's like going out and say, okay, you have different types of cars from a certain brand. Let's call it a Volkswagen. No plugging here, but let's call it a Volkswagen. You can get expensive Volkswagens, and you can get slightly less expensive. You can upgrade and you can pay more and stuff. That's basically what you do here. Basically, you get a boot that's built around a concept, an idea of a fit, and then you just pay for better materials and more features, basically.
Exactly.
So no, they're not bad boots.
the cheap Volkswagen will still get you from point A to B.
Yes.
With a cheaper football boot, you still get studs,
yes.
And you get a nice upper that is made for playing football.
Exactly. And let me just take here the Veloce, which is by no means a bad football boot. I mean, the upper is relatively soft.
I actually think this feels pretty good.
It feels pretty good. And if I hadn't been as much into boots as I am, I could actually be fooled into thinking this was a higher end model than it is.
Yeah.
Because costing around, the takedown models usually range from between 70 to 150 euros, the lowest tiers. And for a boot like this, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. Okay, then why would somebody consider buying takedown models?
That's very easy. It's because of the price. That's why the brands made them.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily need to go. I mean, a lot of people go and spend money on the high-end boots. You're one, I'm one, but that's because we like that little bit of extra something you get in the fit, you get in the performance, you get in the lightweight and the mental edge. But if you don't want to spend that sort of money because you think it's foolish, it's not about the boots anyway, well then you go out and buy them.
Yeah, and also I was thinking about it, and I also thought that for somebody it could be a nice way to add more boots into their range.
Yes.
Especially if your feet don't really grow anymore. If you're at the age where you're done growing in every aspect, if you know what I mean. And then you can maybe have a pair of Pumas, Nikes, and a pair of Adidas.
You can have whatever you want.
Instead of just buying one pair of Mercurials.
Yes, or you could buy a pair of leather boots if you so please. I mean, that's something you could also do. I had one more question I'd written down. Oh yes, a lot of people also ask us, are the low-end models, are they replicas or fakes?
No. Of course they're not.
Because people often describe what we would call the cheaper price points, low-end models, is not a very nice name, as you say, but they would also often describe them as fakes. They're not fakes. This is still a Hypervenom.
It's still an official Nike product.
Yes, it might still be a Hypervenom Felon, and this might be a Mercurial Veloce, this might be a 17.2X, but it's still an X. It's just not the very top model. So no, they're not fakes. They're just made to give you something close to the top models for a cheaper price.
Yeah, and obviously the cheaper price comes from having materials that are not so expensive for the brands, to make. So obviously, like making, the Teijin upper on the Vapor is more. The material itself is more expensive than this they have right here.
And the research that goes into it is more expensive. It's just basically what I get the sensation is that they're taking the best of what they can kind of afford at that price point and then slapping it into the boot. So
then Jay Mike,
yes.
If this is such a good boot, then why is Neymar not rocking this? Why are Neymar is maybe a bad example, but why are not like the Premier League level footballers wearing the takedown models?
Because they don't have to pay for the boots themselves.
And there's another reason.
Nike want them in the best product.
Exactly. They want to showcase their athletes in the best and most expensive products.
Of course.
So that people would potentially pay more money for the premium product. Obviously, it's better business for them if everybody just bought the 300 euro boots.
But also if they showcase the premium boot, the Vapor 11s, and even people who don't have or don't want to spend the extra money on the Vapor 11, well, they will still think that, hey, this looks like a Vapor 11, it probably feels a lot like a Vapor 11, so I'm okay with going down. But if Neymar was rocking this, and he would still kill it, mind.
Yes.
It doesn't matter one thing, he can still play brilliantly wearing this, just like you can in the Vapor 11. Well, if it's okay just selling, like, putting him in this, I wouldn't necessarily think that many people, again, would go out and buy this. I mean, so there's a reason for that. And still, I mean, I know a lot of very good football players who wear takedowns because they don't really care. Your old friend back from Finland.
Yo, not just one, and also myself, like, I remember when I was, I never had takedown models of the Predators, No. I was a big Predator player back in the days, but when the CTR came out, I started wearing a lot of the CTRs.
But that's also because the CTRs had good takedowns.
Yes, and I bought a lot of takedown models, and honestly, I felt the same. Like, if you really boil it down, it felt the same. If you give them some time for breaking in.
Yes.
But you know, in many cases, in what I have experienced, is that you need more time for the breaking period because the materials are maybe not as soft, not as plushy, not as, you know, all this kind of stuff. But if you're willing to put in the time and you just seriously, you close your eyes and you just play some damn football. Like, the difference is not like huge.
There you go.
So Jay Mike, to conclude and answer the actual topic, why do the brands make takedown models?
To give you guys options and to make money.
Boom.
After all, it's a business and you make more money if you actually have options for more people. So the more options you have for people in every price range, well, basically the more boots you can sell.
Exactly.
Do you think that, I mean, would you mind rocking any of these boots on the table, bar the vapor, in a match?
In a match?
Yes.
It wouldn't be my to-go choice, but you know, if my life depended on it, I don't care, you know. And obviously, I would take the one that you feel the most comfortable in.
Yes.
You know, out of these boots, I would probably take this one.
Okay.
The X. Okay, the upper feels pretty stiff compared to the regular one.
I would go with this. I'm you know, just looking at it again, I'm rather impressed with this.
Seriously, this is solid.
I didn't realize it was that good. So,
like here, you can tell.
You can feel it on the Predator with the sock and all that stuff. You can feel it on the Felon. I mean, the sock is more like just a. It's not as nice and premium as the top end models, but it's not bad either. And if you don't have the money for the top end models, well, it is pretty solid.
Or if you have a limited budget and you would rather explore with more options, maybe get 2 pairs instead of 1. You know?
And the cool thing is that we've actually made videos breaking down most of these boots we have on the table, breaking down the silos, so you can actually hear what the differences are between the different boots. We've done that on the Predator lately, and you can watch that by clicking the video right down here. But guys, what would you choose to play with takedowns? The high level price point. What do you think about the whole ordeal? Leave us your thoughts right down in the comment section below.
That's it.
You can also do yourself a favor. Go and subscribe to see more of this. And with that said, Jolter,
we're out.
We're signing off. Cheerio.